Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, let's call to order the Bloomington Historic Preservation Commission meeting for Thursday, October 25th. Yeah.
Sorry. Lee Sandwise,
Yeah, here.
Chris Durbaum, John Saunders,
Yeah.
Doug Bruce,
Yes, I'm here.
Sam DeSaller,
Here.
Elizabeth Mitchell,
She seems to be here tonight.
Matt Seddon,
Here.
Bernard Cross,
Here.
Jeff Golden,
Absent.
Duncan Campbell, Derek Ritchie, Jenny Southern.
Okay, I need approval for minutes from October 14th.
I might have one correction.
Yeah, you want to make the motion and then we correct it?
Okay. I think I move to approve the exception of COA 21-70. We've got an advisory down as a second.
Okay, noted. Thank you, Sam. We need a second.
Second.
Thanks, Matt. Dee?
Lee Sandwise,
Yes.
John Saunders,
Yes.
Doug Bruce,
Yes.
Sam DeSaller,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Dee. Gloria, you want to start with the COA staff approvals?
Yes, of course. So, good evening, everybody. We have two staff approvals today. The first one is for 1208 East First Street, located in the Elm Heights Historic District. The petitioners were requesting the removal of a dead tree, a dead maple tree, and parts of a persimmon tree that were rotted and dead already. So the staff commented that the tree and the branches to be removed are dead and continue to be a danger to both the safety of the residents as well as the structure as the house itself. The trees, as seen in the packet, are both located in the backyard of the house. And yeah, so that's the first one. The second one, and this is going to cause a little bit of deja vu because we are going to be seeing this exact situation again with a slightly altered sign in the next few minutes. But the Quevelo property where Grazie is located, Quevelo property located on 106 Street West, sorry, 106 West 6th Street, which is a non-contributing property and Courthouse Historic District. They requested a temporary sign, and it was approved and later amended following the requirements of planning that it be much smaller. So the size, I believe, is 2 by 8 feet, but don't quote me on that. The information is on the packet. So the sign was, temporary sign was approved for 120 days. And we will be seeing a very similar sign, which will be much more permanent in the next few minutes as part of the process. So those are the two approved.
Great, thank you, Gloria. So let's move on to COA 21-70, 1302 East 2nd Street. Petitioner, Mr. Rogers, are you with us this evening? Mr. Rogers?
Yes, yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay, so property case 21-70, 1302 East 2nd Street is located in the Elm Heights Historic District. The request is for building a roofed screen back deck The proposed covered porch is visible from the right of way. However, it intends to match the house's existing color scheme and most of its materials. So the staff did take the additional information that was provided into consideration. This case has been ongoing for a while, and it was seen in our last meeting. However, we have some additional information now, which was included in the packet. So the petitioner, Noel Rogers, provided two drawings that include material, the visible representation of the materials, their location, and their scale. With regards to the house, taking all of this into consideration, the staff does recommend approval.
Great, thank you. Do you have anything you want to add, Mr. Rogers?
As of right now, I mean, I kind of talked about it, I know at the last meeting, and I obviously will do my best to match our color scheme with what is existing on the home right now. As far as our paint colors go, and obviously the shingles are gonna match and gutter, and so, but yep, I drew some little drawings there for you. I hope that's enough information for everybody, and I'll answer any questions.
All right, let's move on to questions. Lee, do you have any questions?
Not right now. Thank you.
Doug? Doug? Sam?
Two questions. One on the corner boards, the 1x Boral, is that a 1x6?
On the corners,
The vertical corner boards, yes, sir.
yeah, well, it'll be a 6x6 post, and we'll wrap it in Boral. So yeah, that'll be a 1x6. Yes.
Thank you. And my other question is for Gloria, do we have any feedback from the neighborhood?
This one was seen last week. I believe the neighborhood had seen it. I believe Jenny is here, who also saw it last week. I would have to look up the packet, the previous packet.
The previous packet didn't have the drawings in it, so I'm curious if the neighborhood has seen these drawings, and if so, they have a reaction to them.
Okay.
Jenny, are you with us?
Looks like she's connecting.
There we go. Jenny? I think she's having a problem. Okay, we'll come back to Jenny. Matthew, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Great. Bernard, do you have any questions?
No questions.
I don't have any questions myself. Jenny, are you with us yet? Okay. Doug, can you hear us? Let's see, Doug got us. Okay, so let's move on to comments. Lee, do you have any comments?
No, I don't.
Sam, do you have any comments?
I was hoping to hear the neighborhood comments before I am pleased the petitioner has put forth drawings.
Yeah.
It looks fairly clean.
Very good. Thank you, Sam. Matthew, do you have any comments?
No comments. Thank you.
All right. Bernard, do you have any comments?
I think they did what we asked for, and I'm satisfied with what's presented.
Very good. Thank you, Bernard. Jenny, by any chance, can you hear us yet? I see her online.
John, this is John Zodi. I'm gonna try to chat to see if she'll pick up on that.
Great.
Just ask her the question in there.
All right, Duncan, do you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Since you're with us.
This is Jennifer Burt, but I'm on the line for the Cabello project.
Okay, they were wanting Jenny Southern. All right, so let's move on. We will need a motion to approve.
I move to approve COA 21-70.
Second, I need a second. I'll second it. Let's move forward. Dee, do the roll.
Lee Sandwise,
Yes.
John Saunders,
Yes.
Doug Bruce, Sam DeSaller,
I'm gonna abstain.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Nard Cross,
Yes,
motion carries.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to COA 21-72, 106 West Sixth Street. And I see Mr. Norton's with us. Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing I want to mention, this project has this project has also, like the first one, been on docket for a while now, so it's approaching its month. So this is the final sign for Cabello Italian Kitchen and Bar, which would be replacing the temporary sign that was approved. So it's for the sign and the awning. And I wanted to mention that there are certain processes, particularly with the awning's placement on public space and sign regulations that need to be processed through planning as well. So our a COA approval, hypothetical COA approval will not constitute a final permit. Planning has a lot of regulations on signs. So that said, the scale and proportion of the existing building, including the recognition of the base spacing of the upper story, should be respected in the storefront. So this is quoted from the guidelines, and basically staff found that the placement of the awning and the sign specifically is placed exactly where the Grazie sign is located. This is a non-contributing structure. However, the sign is still falling within the regulations of the guidelines, respecting the windows and not covering the storefront itself. Yeah, so staff recommends approval of this sign, and here are some additional images. And this is Grazie to give you a sense of the type of spacing and proportions current.
Very good. Mr. Norton, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
No, I don't think so. I think the picture explains it very well. I've got the dimensions on the slide that was just there, the overall dimensions, width, height, projection from the building. The sign itself fits within the sign guidelines, 1.5 square feet for every foot of building frontage. So it's pretty much all right there in front of you.
Great, thank you, Mr. Norton.
Mhm.
All right, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, Lee?
No, I don't.
All right,
Thank you.
great.
Sorry.
Sam, questions?
Yeah, could the petitioner describe the, it looks like there are some columns that are coming down? Would they describe them, the size of them, the placement of them?
Yes, those are support posts that would be on the front edge of the awning. They are going to be 2-inch aluminum posts. They will be tap-conned into the sidewalk, and with the dimensions of the awning, it's structurally, it's necessary to have the supports out on that leading edge like that.
Could you also describe why the awning stops where it does?
That's on the right-hand side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's an entrance to an apartment upstairs. So what we did is the awning is just in front of the restaurant itself, and that's the 40 feet goes to that spot right there.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Sam. Matthew, do you have any questions?
No questions.
All right. Renard,
No questions.
thank you, Renard. I don't have any questions at this point. So let's move on to comments. I'm sorry, Duncan, do you have questions?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. So let's move on to comments. Lee, do you have any comments?
No,
All right. Sam, comments?
Yes. So once you put columns under an awning, it's no longer an awning, it becomes a canopy. And in the Courthouse Square District, there are 2 existing canopies. One of them is in front of the Fountain Square Mall, which serves the entrance to the entire building. And the other one is in front of the social cantina. And I find, especially the one in front of the social cantina, the one that detracts the most from the square. So I have no issues with the sign, but I think that my read of the guidelines is that if it's going to be an awning, it cannot have support posts and it needs to be self-supporting. So I would support the sign, but not the awning as submitted, because it's actually a canopy.
Thank you, Sam. Renard?
Nothing from me.
Okay, thank you. Duncan?
It looks like the supports come down not out at the perimeter of the sidewalk, but I don't know, several feet off the building, kind of in the middle of the sidewalk.
6 feet out.
Am I reading that right? 6 feet out?
That's where we would ultimately like to put them. They can be moved closer to the building and still offer the support it needs. We were just kind of going off social cantina of where those posts were as our guideline, but they could be moved in closer to the building.
I'm sorry, this is a question, not a comment, but it didn't come up for me until just I heard Sam's comments. But is this intended to cover an outdoor seating area? Is that
that's my understanding? Yes.
So 6 feet is probably kind of a minimum.
Yeah.
My concern is that they're in the way in the sidewalk. If somebody walking along looks the other way for a minute, it seems like they're kind of a hazard. But I don't know what the city's rules are about those extensions off of restaurant fronts. I support the idea of eating outside and having a covered space, but I kind of agree with Sam that if it's a canopy and not an awning, then the discussion has somehow changed. And my
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Let me offer this. Like Social Cantina has a fence between the posts, so it cordons off that outdoor seating area.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. If that, I mean, it doesn't change the, it's still a canopy by definition from what Sam said. But it's going to prevent people from running into a post if it's a fenced in area like the other restaurants downtown have now.
But currently you're not under this C of A, you're not proposing that railing.
No, but it would, if we could get that, I mean, if that would be what would be necessary, I'm sure that would be something doable.
Do we have anybody here with planning?
And currently outdoor at the Grazie location, we always had tables out front. So the whole front of the restaurant outside had tables that filled the whole area. So you couldn't necessarily, like if you were walking, you would walk in, there's tables out in front of the restaurant.
Thank you. Keegan?
Sure. Yeah, planning wouldn't really be over this. I think the Board of Public Works would have to approve the encroachment agreement. So I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the standards would be for an encroachment like this.
Yeah, we're more questioning the whether it's an awning or a canopy.
That's a good question. I think since it's supported by posts, we would consider it to be a canopy, but I can double check what the code says.
All right, that would be good. Let's see, have I missed anybody? Myself. I can agree with Sam on this and Duncan. So why don't we go for an motion for this project, and then we can accept it or deny it.
I'll move to approve the signage and the awning if it is self-supporting.
Okay,
Second,
thank you, Lee. All right, D,
Lee Sandwise,
yes.
John Saunders,
yes.
Sam DeSoler,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So let's, Mr. Norton, if you would get back with planning and historic preservation, we can get the other part of your awning.
Okay. Do we, I do have a question. Do we just work with planning or public or right-of-way issues? If we can adapt that to make it an awning and a true awning, do we just work through Board of Public Works and then the city planning at this point?
Yes, but you'll still have to come back here for the approval of the awning.
Okay, but we can proceed with the sign, and I'll get a revised drawing to Gloria in the next couple of weeks, and and see what we can do to make that a self-supporting situation.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Very
you.
well. All right, so let's move on to COA 21-73, 410 East Seville Avenue, Matlock Heights Historic District.
So today we have 3 projects located in Matlock Heights. And actually we have 2 that are facing each other, 410 and 411 East Seville Avenue. We're starting with 410 East Seville Avenue, which is a non-contributing structure. It is a branch that has been altered. So the proposal is for adding various skylights and natural lighting to the front facade of the house, or the front facing slope of the roof. The property is considered non-contributing. However, its size, setback, materials, and scale are compatible to the neighborhood's patterning. The proposed alteration, the staff finds the proposed alteration does not affect the massing or scale of the structure, and there's another aspect is the structure is very, very set back from the front of the road. There's many trees covering it, so it is visible. It is visible, and these are highly visible alterations. However, they don't. Staff didn't find that they would negatively impact the structure itself very much. So this is the location, and the drawing on the right is the placement of the different skylights. And here are images of, sample images of how they would look like. So the staff does recommend approval for COA 2173.
Great.
And oh, Matlock Heights Neighborhood Association did get back to me on the 3 projects and did offer support for the 3 projects in Matlock Heights.
Thank you, Gloria. Okay, questions? Lee?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right. Sam?
No questions.
Matthew?
No,
Bernard?
No questions.
I don't have any questions at this point, so let's move on.
I have a
Second-
question.
Second, questions?
How many skylights are there? And are they all that domed light tube style?
That's an excellent question. So they're proposing for 4 dome skylights and 1 unit of divided in 3 or 4, like the one's rectangular skylight that would be divided in 3 or 4 parts, and then 4 of the domed skylights, the light tubes.
Light tubes. So go back to the picture where Mike has, yes, there you go, Duncan.
Yeah, I know what those are. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So let's move back to comments. Duncan, since we just got done talking to you, how about your comments? Nope. Okay.
Jenny?
Oh, very good. Jenny, do you have any comments?
No, no comments.
Great. Lee, do you have any comments?
No,
Sam?
I've got no issues with it. I'm a big fan of Velux because they are very good on leaks. So if they're waffling between one or the other, I like the other.
Great. Matthew?
no comments.
All right. Bernard?
I'm a big fan of skylights. I like them.
All right. Chris, you kind of got in here.
No problem with these things.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been late. Couldn't get in.
Okay. Did you have a chance to look at this COA?
I looked at it, yeah, earlier this afternoon.
Do you have any comments?
I don't have a problem with this.
Great. Does the public have any comments? All right, hearing none. I need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second?
Second,
Great. All right, Dee?
Lee Sandwise,
yes,
Chris Durbaum,
Yes,
John Saunders,
Yes.
Sam DeSaller,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
yes,
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike, for coming this evening. All right, very good. Let's move on to COA 21-74, 616 South Woodlawn Avenue, Elm Heights area. Is Mr. White with us?
John? I think
Yes, John White. Joan, are you with us?
you see John's iPhone.
Joan?
She's muted.
Try and mute there again.
I can only request.
Yeah, we know a request. Okay. She's here. Let's move on.
Okay,
I'm
so.
sorry. I'm sorry, I am here. Sorry.
Okay, so the petition is for the lifting of the carport roof. The carport is built in wood and metal. It would remain in the exact same materials. It's simply going to be lifted a few inches. So the staff finds that the scale of the alterations would not affect the existing encroachment agreement with the Board of Public Works. This carport is located on an alley. However, it does have an encroachment agreement. All of this was researched. And the staff does recommend approval of the COA 2174. Yeah, and I did send the packet out, I believe, to members of Elm Heights. And I also believe that, Joan, did you speak to them? I kind of remembered that in our conversation, but I need to recall it because I may be failing in my memory.
I'm sorry, did I speak to whom?
To the Elm Heights committee or the neighborhood association. And if you didn't, that's fine as well.
Well, I spoke to Jenny, who has represented Elm Heights, but I didn't speak to a group of people about it.
Okay, thank you.
Jenny, do you have any additional information?
She spoke to us last year about it, I believe, a year ago as a
Sorry.
group. But we
Okay.
haven't spoke more recently to it, and we don't have any problem with it. It's set well back and it's been there a while. She just wants to get rid of rotten wood so it doesn't damage the house.
Great, thank you, Jenny. Lee, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Chris?
No,
Sam?
For the petitioner, is this connected to the house in any way, or is it freestanding?
It is connected to the house.
So it's basically detaching it, cranking it up, and reattaching it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Renard?
No comments, no questions.
All right. I haven't got any questions. Duncan?
No questions.
Perfect. Let's move on to comments. Lee?
Pretty straightforward, and I would support this.
Chris?
no questions. I'll support it.
Sam?
No comment.
Renard?
No comments.
Great. I think it's a nice endeavor to fix things, so I think we'll be okay. So we need a motion. I'm
Move to
sorry,
approve.
Duncan. I missed you, Duncan. Did you have any comments?
You need to add me to your list, John.
You're here. It's in a different position on my list. I apologize.
Here, but I'm not here. No, I don't have any comments on this thing.
And Jenny.
Jenny, do you have any comments too?
No, I will say it is freestanding. It's just butted up against the building because there's an old cut that goes into the basement that was original to the house that drains the concrete into the basement if it's not covered. So
Okay.
it is freestanding in its weight.
Okay.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay. Do we have a motion?
This is Matt Seddon. I have neither questions nor comments, and I move to approve 2174.
Matt, I can't see you.
Hi, I'm here.
There you go. All right. Do we have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Lee. All right, Dee?
Lee Samwise,
yes.
Chris Durbone,
Yes,
John Saunders,
Yes.
Sam DeSoler,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes,
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so we're moving right along today. We might get out before 8 o'clock.
Don't jinx it.
Let's go to COA 2175, 411 East Seville. And again, that's in the Matlock Heights Historic District. Cindy Thrasher, are you with us? Cindy? Yes. Good to see you.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. All right.
Okay, so the petitioner Cindy Thrasher is asking to not rebuild a chimney. But for a little bit of context, this house was partly burnt down recently, and the chimney collapsed. The petitioner is simply asking for the chimney to not have to be rebuilt. The chimney is located towards the back of the house, and it's not clearly visible from the street. And now it's not visible at all because it doesn't exist anymore, but it wasn't a large component of this contributing structure to begin with. Therefore, staff recommends approval of COA 2175. If the owners had to rebuild the chimney, it would be for aesthetic reasons more than for its use. So here's the location of the chimney. It is slightly visible from one of the streets, but it's not, even when it was existing, it wasn't extremely visible or a large component of the house. So, and here are some images of the fire damage. There were more images as well. But yeah, staff does approve, staff recommends for the approval of not having to rebuild the chimney for COA 2175.
Great. What's the status? Is this contributing, non-contributing?
This is a contributing structure.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so let's move on to questions. Lee?
I don't have any questions.
All right. Chris?
No questions.
Sam?
No questions.
Matthew?
No question.
Bernard?
No questions.
I have no questions. Duncan?
Nope.
Jenny?
No questions.
So let's move on to comments. Lee, comments?
Nope.
Chris, comments?
I don't think it'll be missed.
Great. Matthew?
No comments.
All right. Sam?
No comments.
Bernard?
No comments.
I haven't got any comments.
Oh, I thought of a comment.
Oh, okay.
Just as far as precedents go, there have been some really simple structures where the chimney seemed important to the historical context of that building. This isn't one of those cases, but it doesn't mean we always say chimneys may go wherever, whenever.
Yep. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Duncan?
Yeah, along the lines of what Chris was saying, I noticed from the photo that we saw that it looks like there's a fireplace inside. Is that masonry work? Was that a fireplace or a wood stove? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wood burning stove. So they want to change it to a gas.
I see. And they wouldn't need a chimney for it.
Exactly.
I'm in general, I'm okay with this. I would like to have been able to see a picture of the chimney as it once was. It's difficult to make an evaluation of whether something is historically meaningful to the house if you don't ever see it. And I don't know if that photograph is available or not, but if this was a rough limestone masonry chimney that was 6 or 7 feet wide, it would be a pretty significant feature of this house. So I think, again, this is a situation where, when available anyway, we really need to see what it is we're talking about, because I have no idea what that chimney looked like or whether it was meaningful to that house. And chimneys were very significant in the ranch house era because fireplaces were part of Frank Lloyd Wright's vision for the hearth and the family and the home. And so a lot of these houses had very significant masonry chimneys as part of their original architectural concept. So historically speaking, this could have been, probably was a significant feature of the house.
Staff did request images.
Yes, I tried to get some and I was told that they couldn't find any of the original with the fireplace showing. They did say that the chimney, the fireplace was not original to the home, that it wasn't built until the 70s. So as far as that, it was built later on.
Okay. That's good information. All right, that just wanted, I just wanted to make that comment.
Yeah, I think we can kind of see the very top there, where the hole is to the roof. Yeah, that was what was there, it looks like prior. So it looks like one of those metal box things coming up for the fireplace.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know what that was back there, but yeah, I think you're right. Okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to comments. Lee,
I don't have any comments.
I'm sorry. Sam, do you have any comments?
Just the one, if you look at Google Maps from 2013, it doesn't even show from the street. It's not a present fixture. So I've got no issues with this.
Great, thank you. Matthew?
No comments.
Terrific. Renard?
No comments.
All right, great. And I don't have any comments. Jenny, any comments?
Only that I'm really sorry about the damage to your home.
And Duncan, any comments?
No more.
Great, thank you. All right, we need a motion.
Move to approve COA 2175.
Thank you, Matthew. Second?
I'll second.
All right, great. Thank you, Lee. All right, Dee.
Lee Sandwise,
Yes.
Chris Sturbaum,
Yes.
Don Saunders,
Yes.
Sam DeSaller,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
Look at that one car garage. Cool.
All right. All right, so let's move on to COA 21-76, 2300 North Martha Street. Again, in Matlock Heights.
Is the owner here?
Yes, are the McIntoshes here?
Catherine is here.
Great, thank you for being here.
Okay, excellent. So the proposal for COA 2176 located on 2300 North Martha Street. This is a contributing structure and the owners would like to install an above ground swimming pool with a surrounding wood deck and fence in the back of the, located behind the house. The proposed pool and deck are to be located behind the house and the materials to be used are mainly wood and concrete, following the recommended practices within the Matlock Heights Historic District guidelines. Staff recommends approval of COA 2176. Here are some additional context. So the plan, although small, does show the location of the pool related to the house. It wouldn't be visible from the streets. And you can see the scale and the materials of the pool, and the photograph also shows where it would be located. So there's currently a metal fence, which would be replaced by a wooden fence. And yeah, the Matlock Heights community members, design subcommittee had no problem with this proposal either.
All right, terrific. Thank you. All right. So let's, Lee, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Chris, do you have any questions?
No.
Great. Matthew?
No questions.
Sam?
Yeah, so is the existing chain link fence going to be removed and replaced with wood fence, or it doesn't say that in the packet, but Gloria just mentioned that. So I'd like some clarification.
Actually, no, the wood fencing will just be around the pool for safety
right.
reasons.
Okay, and then it will be sort of at that little bit of an angle as shown in the plan.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
it's
we,
gonna
we don't
be-
actually have our deck. Our deck hasn't been finalized yet because it's going to be spring before they can do all this now because we have hit the cold season.
Gotcha. As somebody who mows the lawn, I would recommend that you get rid of that little triangle between the fence and the pool. That's all.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Bernard, do you have any questions?
None.
All right. I don't have any questions at this point. Duncan?
No.
Okay. Jenny?
No, I was just gonna say if they're removing the chain link and replacing it, I would have been more interested in that than the pool, because that's much more visible. I don't think you're gonna be able to see the pool. And it's possible the chain link was original to the house and it wouldn't be appropriate for a picket fence or something like that. That's my only questions, though.
Thank you, Jenny. All right, let's move to comments. Lee?
No comment.
Perfect. Chris, any comments?
Yeah, if there's a stain choice, I wouldn't default to bright red redwood. There's some nice gray stains, but that's not any requirement of ours.
Thank you, Chris. Sam, comments?
I guess my only other comment is an implementation one. It looks like your yard has a slope, and it might. I'd encourage you to sort of do a cut and fill so that the pool lies as low as possible on your grade. But I don't have any issues with this either way.
Thank you, Sam. Matthew?
No comments.
Thank you. Bernard?
None.
I haven't got any comments at this point. Duncan?
No comments.
Okay. Jenny, comments?
No comments.
Do we have any comments from the public? All right, hearing none. I need a motion.
Move to approve COA 2176.
Second?
I'll second.
Great. D?
Lee Sandwise,
Yes.
Chris Durbaum,
Yes.
John Saunders,
Yes.
Sam DeSaller,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. All right, let's move on to COA 21-77, 619 West Smith Avenue in the Greater Prospect Hill District. And the petitioner's with us, Steve? Great,
Yes.
great, thank you. All right.
Excellent. So 619 West Smith Avenue is currently a non-contributing structure located in the Greater Prospect Hill Historic District. The request is to reopen the front porch. The structure is currently severely altered. Opening the porch, removing the added siding in the, at least from the application, I understood it was at least on the porch area, and restoring the two front doors will bring the house back to a more historically appropriate state. So the staff recommends approval of COA 2177. There is a very long description of the packet of the different types of works that BRI is proposing, including boxing in where the rafters meet the house. So as you can tell, there's a lot of spaces that look a bit raw right now, or a bit unconnecting. This is an image from the west side, and hold up, yeah, and samples of the materials used. And here is a quick sketch made by staff to show more or less. I talked to Steve this afternoon and tried to fix a little thing, so it might not be fully accurate to BRI's proposal, but it gives an idea of the scope of work and the area to be intervened.
Steve, do you have anything to add?
No, we're just looking to make the house look like it's not just a box anymore, have it look like it used to look. So we've looked at other gabled L's and and taking cues on what would be appropriate to put in, and that's how he came up with this plan. So basically, he's just taking out the enclosure and putting in turn posts.
Great, thank you, Steve. All right, Lee, questions?
No questions.
All right, Chris,
No,
Sam,
So Steve, it looks like the existing porch floor is concrete. You're just gonna leave that, yes?
Yes, that's right.
All right, and then I guess the only other question is, there's a bunch of existing, looks like maybe 8-inch stuff on the outside. Is that gonna stay, or are you gonna yank that off now or later, or do you have a plan?
What stuff is that?
The
Yeah.
siding on the whole house?
No, not the whole house, just on the porch. So
Gotcha.
we'll take off we'll get it down to the bare wood clapboard and fix that up.
Cool. And then above the north side is Gloria's rendering representational of what your plan is?
Yes, basically we're going to restore the way it looked. So if you look at the image of the current condition that faces that direction from inside the porch, you can see it's going to have that same vertical beadboard, makes like a triangle above where you see that door now that will be coming out.
So the siding is just going to continue along out on above the porch opening on the north side there.
It's not siding; it's a beadboard. It's a vertical beadboard.
On the outside face, on the north
Right.
side.
So,
There we go. Yeah, you can see it there, and it's on both sides originally. So that'll be what you'll see from the north side when you look at the porch.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Matthew, any questions?
Nope.
Very good. Bernard, any questions?
I am in favor of anything that you can do to this house and make it look not like it looks now. So you have my support. Go ahead, do it.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Steve. Your turn posts, what kind of are those going to be? Are they gonna be similar to what's already in the neighborhood, or are you gonna go out and have to get new ones? How are you gonna address the turn posts?
Yeah, they actually have some decent ones at Menards. So the image there from Menards website is the actual post we'll be using, and
Okay.
they're are they 4 1/8 by 4 1/8? So they're just about the right size for this era of a house.
Right. And the door, is that like gonna be a fiberglass door, or is that gonna be a wood door?
That'd be a wood door.
Great, thank you so much. Duncan, questions?
No questions.
And Jenny, questions?
I was noticing with all those open rafters, have you guys checked for bats?
I haven't noticed any bats in there in the times I've been in there.
Yeah, they hibernate. You know, sometimes they move and then they hibernate. I had that problem in my own house.
I used to live half a block away at the corner of Rogers and Smith, and we had bats all the time. So
yeah.
Very good, very good, thank you. So we'll move on to comments. Lee, any comments?
It's a great project and I will certainly support it.
Terrific. Chris?
sure, it needs help. I agree. And that's the way to go.
Very good. Sam?
Looks good.
Perfect. Matthew?
I'm with Renard. Anything you can do to make this thing look more original is great, and I love the sensitivity. It's really cool.
Very good. Thank you. Renard?
Sorry, no question.
Comments?
Oh, I made my comment. Listen, I know this house well. There's very little you can do to make it not look better. So yeah, 2 thumbs up.
All right, thank you, Renard. And I agree with my fellow commissioners. I've been by this house several times in the years, and I'm glad to see something happening to it. Do we have any public comments? All right,
Duncan.
Duncan, do you have any comments?
No, good project.
Great. And Jenny, any comments? All right, great. I need a motion.
Move to approve. I can't remember the number.
2177.
Move to approve 2177 enthusiastically.
I second it.
All right. D,
Lee Sandweiss,
Yes.
Chris Sturbaum,
Yes.
John Saunders,
yes.
Sam DeSaller,
Yes.
Matt Seddon,
Yes.
Bernard Cross.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Sorry, D. We're moving right along tonight. We don't
Deserve
have
it.
anything- we don't have anything for demolition delay. We do have some new business, and that is concerning our next meeting in November. The Thursday 11th is a holiday.
So the Thursday 11th is a city holiday, and it's the second week. So yeah, a petitioner actually told me, isn't that Veterans Day? And after consultation with the rest of staff and with Jeff Golden, we decided to move it to November 18th so that there would be at least one meeting in November. All of the city calendars have been updated. I've sent as many people as possible the updated information. If there are any gaps, feel free to spread the word. I did want to mention two additional very quick things that have come up and that will be coming up, but will not take all night. I did want to mention that this week there was a city meeting with the Near West Side Neighborhood Association President Peter Dorfman and some other community members from different historic districts and some commissioners as well. And the topic of conversation was mainly the process of the COA flow and the permits flow in general. We had people from planning and hand there present, and the neighborhood associations role within this process and the flow that it should go. So I wanted to let you know about that. And we can speak about that later if you all desire. I am going to be compiling information on each and every single district and making a breakdown of how these flows are different for each district and what can be improved in communication. The second thing I wanted to mention, and it's not for this week, but perhaps our next meeting, it will have to be addressed, but the Cascades Park Upper and Lower Cascades is being nominated by the city to the federal landmarking. I have already reviewed the packet. I need to go through it again. We are within the 60-day limit. Actually, today is day 28. So I'm letting you know because I believe the HPC will have to give its support or its determinations during the next meeting. So that is coming up as well. I don't foresee any sort of big issues with it, but I will be sending I believe I will be sending everybody all of the packet as well so that you can see it. It's the report, the images and everything that have been prepared. And I've also prepared the calendar for 2022. So that is also upcoming events. And that's all for new business. That's it. I promise. I promise.
All right. Thank you. And let's go on to the old business.
So
Well,
a lot of, yes.
Could I comment on the new business just briefly?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I was at the design guidelines meeting and I just wanted to summarize a little bit differently. One of the issues we discussed so-called traffic control when we have too many things on our agenda. Can we change our guidelines to let some get bumped to the next meeting? Like we just had a 5-hour meeting and we're having a 1-hour meeting. That could have balanced out a little better. And the other thing that most people talked about was requiring neighborhood pre-meetings before the application is completed and accepted by staff, so that one way or another, they would have reached out and already talked to a neighborhood groups so that there wasn't this last minute feeling of, here it is, fully cooked, now we have a week to talk about it. And those aren't decisions that are being made, but those are ideas that are being considered. And they're going to check legal to see if we could possibly modify our guidelines and do it that way. And so it doesn't have to go back through a giant process. But those are the questions on the table. And the idea was that if some of these questions get addressed up front, we don't have to do it all at our meeting for the first time where everybody shows up and makes a lot of noise. But a lot of these issues can be solved or resolved or anticipated before they get fully cooked. So it would be nice to have that happen. And staff's been doing a fine job with our guidelines. There's no way to really get some of this early communication without a change in policy. Sorry to take your time, but we had a short meeting.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we'll move on to old business.
Okay, so these are just some, I believe they're all lovely updates. I did a site visit on September 30th with the petitioner for the Paris Dunning house, and he placed the different samples on the floor, and we looked at the roof for about 10 minutes. And both of us agreed that the antique brown shingles were the closest match to the current shingles right now of the pile. And therefore, you know, I'm just updating you on different responsibilities that staff has been given after some of our meetings. The COA 2152, which we also saw that same day, the petitioner actually sent in revised plans pretty much the very next day. And so the COA was revised to include the additional information. So we have the spindles, and they also included the vertical lattice work, which isn't quite as visible here as the image is much lovelier. It's included in the packet as well, just letting everybody know. I hadn't included this in the packet because we were still waiting pending information, but during the BHQA meeting on October 20th, and as some of the other staff members here from hand can correct me if I get details wrong. They updated me on the meeting, but Chickering was given some time to effectuate repairs at the property, and they have officially rescinded their demolition permit application with the Monroe County Construction Department. They called me and told me, and I went ahead and called the construction department and confirmed it with them. So this little garage stays for now, and hopefully it will get a new life.
Is that summer 2022?
Yes, summer 2022. Thanks, Sam, for catching that. Yes. I meant summer 2022. We do not have time machines just yet.
Yeah, Sam, the BHQA gave them till next spring to kind of get the work going on it. So they're gonna hang on, as Lori mentioned.
Fantastic, thank you.
And some updates on the James Ferris house timeline. I already communicated with the lawyers from the Common Council, and these are the dates. Had some dates for the council hearings confirmed. So I am preparing the ordinance, and this will be submitted within the next week, along with the packet and other information for them. And so it will be reviewed in basically November and December. Basically, it will be the December project. And I believe that is what I have for now.
Great, thank you very much, Gloria. Any commissioner comments?
It's good news.
Very good.
And I
To
just
remind you all, Jeff will be at the next meeting, so get prepared for a long one.
I was just
Do
going
we
to
have
add,
any public comments?
just before we get to the public, I was going to add that Gloria, you've just been every meeting, it just gets more and more detailed, hitting everything we need to know, and really appreciate the work that you're doing. And also the follow-up, it's really great. So thank you very much.
Here.
learning process, and I
Yes.
take every single comment that the commissioners make very, very seriously, and I'm just trying to improve the workflow. And whenever something's not perfect, catch it, call it out, and we'll work on it.
So you very clearly do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, Matthew, and
Sam
thank you,
raises.
Gloria. And Sam, question, comment?
I'm just looking at the drawing that Gloria showed of the 601 West 4th Street, and just make sure that the petitioner knows that they can't have anything that a 4-inch ball will go through. It says the 2x6s with 4-inch spacing. So just make sure that they know that they, you know, for code purposes, they've got to keep it tight.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Any public comments? Hearing none, let's adjourn.
Well done.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody have a good weekend.
Okay, take care.
Make
See you
good
in 2
choices.
weeks.